What do you do on the hearing aid? Sarah, because then it says restart.
Check one, two. Test 1 2, test 1 2. That's probably better.
Oh, how do you do it? Is open and close the open and close the
Yeah, it's not for here. Feedback is robust.
It's going okay. I do tax. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who you were thinking. You talk off the ledger.
Oh. This is rechargeable. Okay. I'm sorry, I was reading the disclosure. When you go, it says put the hearing aids in the computer, so it down. Press it. 3 seconds. To turn them on. Turn them on. So I'm gonna say this is the lower button. Turn them on.
Play for mayor. I don't think I have the balance.
So the green buttons are on.
Can you hear us okay?
No.
Can you hear us okay, Scott?
Oh,
That time?
Thanks. Just.
What do you think? I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try again.
It is. Check 1 2, test, not bad. Anyone hear it? Anyone hear it? Anyone hear it?
MOVO, mobile.
Yeah, there now.
It is.
I see this loud. Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Let me try this.
Yeah.
Can anyone hear us?
I don't know. You're doing everything it's telling you to do.
That's fine.
Can anyone hear us? Randy?
Like that really work fixes everything.
It shows you we're on.
You can put it on.
Check 1 2. You guys hear hello.
That's it. There's always been one of the.
Hey, so one of the, let me know when find a chat now, which got mine. It's here. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
There.
Amy occasionally brings me a pound of dark chocolate. This is the, yeah.
Hello.
She wants to know, Jason White.
Oh, I keep one of these in my drawer in my classroom. And I always just take chunks off, like a couple of them. And
It's fun. The microphone.
they all like milk chocolate.
I got to go over there. It's my bathroom. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, let me have 1 minute.
Hello. You guys hear it? Anybody hear it?
Oh.
It's not
You guys hear me?
Basketball.
Okay, let's start the meeting. Have your attention, Sergeant of Arms.
Join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First. Second. Third.
Better friendship. Fourth, beneficial to all concerned. You're done. Again?
Fifth.
You did fine. Okay, awesome. Wow. We're all here. Good full house. Excellent. Thanks.
Vloggers, finding everybody back.
Oh, good. Excellent. Fine, yeah.
And she'll match it. Match it, see, she'll match it.
Okay, so do we have an inspirational comment today?
Well, try, with this crowd. The great aim of our organization is to instill and develop in the business and professional men and women of the world a broad international understanding based on honesty, fair dealing, and the golden rule, a spirit of genuine universal brotherhood, for above the barriers which rise between men and women and between nations, with the diversity of political and fiscal relationships on the one hand and the innocent nationalism on the other. That was delivered at a RI convention in 1929.
Wow. You probably were there.
No, Lauren was there.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I don't see, is there any visitors? I don't really recognize any visitors today. So anyhow. Is there a visitor?
Young lady.
I don't- Yeah, okay. Okay, good.
She's past president.
So I do have something here, this really cool thing, because we have a new, president for Rotary International, Gordon McClinley. So he's coming, and then our new governor, David Lubach. Lubach, yeah. Lubach.
You'll get it one of these.
Anyhow, so we have this.
Why is yours smaller than the one you're on?
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but, yeah, I got a big one now. Anyhow, Don picked that up, right, from.
I did.
Yeah, thanks. for that.
I think all the clubs got one.
Yeah, okay, cool. And so with that, we'll move on to birthdays and Rotary join dates and things of that sort. And there's a lot of birthdays in March as we fold out into the end of March. And then there's Rotary join and some anniversaries. And so birthdays, we have one, I think his name's Chris Vallow. Have you ever heard of him?
Set up the spanking machine.
Hey. What do you say?
Where's the paddle at?
So anyhow, there's that. Then we have a paddle, yeah, with some holes drilled in it like an oar. An oar, you can get into. Yeah, pizza pen with a handle on it. So anyhow. Yeah, and then we have a couple of people that joined this week. Actually, March 1st was Rand, he goes by Rand Southam. Is he on there?
Yeah.
Oh, good, yeah, hey, congratulations, you're one of us now. Awesome, looking forward to seeing you in person someday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then we have the guy that's been around for a long time, but not as long as Lauren or Joyce, but getting close. Gary O'Reilly, he joined Rotary in 1994. And then he joined Lake Stevens March 1st, 2009. It's the same date, only a different year. Congratulations. Yeah.
All Joyce's fault.
Okay, good. There's a bunch of other stuff coming up next week, so you guys will be surprised, probably not, if you know who you are. So anyhow, let's see here, okay. And now we have officers' reports. Well, wait, we have some announcements here. We had some things that Rochelle sent around to the board. You want to talk about that now?
Sure. So the Lake Stevens Film Festival is scheduled again. I believe it's in the beginning of August. Super awesome. We all loved it last year. There are grant opportunities from Snohomish County Arts Foundation, I believe. And so Laura, the director of the film festival, came to Arts and Parks Foundation, but Arts and Parks Foundation is also applying for the grant, and she just needed someone to run her grant through a nonprofit because they don't have status yet. And because Arts and Parks couldn't compete with her, right? It's not fair. She asked if we could do it with Rotary. So I sent an email around yesterday. It was unanimous that the board agreed that we would support and sponsor her grant application that's due today.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. Film is cool. We had a really good turnout last year, so I think it'll be just as good this year. So,
Yeah, film is
yeah. And we can support them and maybe show up with a booth or something with a banner and how to join Rotary, how to get involved.
popcorn machine.
Yeah, popcorn machine.
I can press watch it again.
Yeah. Can I bring my TV over? That's hilarious, wasn't it?
It was frustrating as well.
It was. Exactly. It was dark out.
Park fans, waiting for their popcorn.
Yeah.
You can laugh at it now.
I know. No. But it was clean.
It was super clean. Well, now we know it works.
Yeah. So anyhow, so the web base, we'll talk about that when you're talking about membership, okay? All right. Okay, so we have our reports. We have treasurer's report.
We're doing okay. We could use some more dues being paid, but we try to fix that control, not more than it was.
Okay, good. We got money in the bank, some,
Yeah, money in the bank, that's
there's a number, we don't know, okay.
Oh, one question, I haven't been able to get on the Square, it looks to me like somebody paid their dues through Square. If you're that person, I would like to know who you are.
I'll take it. If nobody-
Yeah. I think we know who it is.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, okay, good.
You just say she's kind of square.
No, I did not say that. No, she got here, it's all right. You got about Tracy while she's in the business.
Okay,
I might have paid Joyce's dues with her credit card on my Square. But I'm not
You
sure.
are,
Did you remember paying anybody's dues on Square? I mean,
I did, well, I think I texted you though, Jack, to let you know. I think I paid mine via Venmo, but I had Joyce's credit card and I was sitting right next to her. So I'm not sure.
all right.
But then I
well,
also used the Square for the 5,000 Valhalla sponsor.
Yeah, I got that, and I figured that's what that was.
Okay,
Same
So that
day?
probably knows you then.
Was
Like
it
the two things happen.
it was
the same day?
around the same time. I don't think it was the same day.
I'm gonna give you advice.
I can't, I'm sorry, I don't hear what you're talking about, tell me.
What?
Did I not pay something?
No.
No.
You're good.
Tell her, hey, Chris,
Yes.
tell her I used her credit card again.
Yeah, she did the credit card again at Nordstrom's.
And I
No.
know, you have to call her automatically.
Do you know what's going on?
Yeah,
Yeah, she does.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
It's choice.
Okay, you're the winner. All right, good. Right, so, secretary's report.
Board meeting, March 21st at Brian's office. Chris Val, CD, and Brian went over to Skyline and met with Scott Addison and walked the property, there. It was kind of cold, but it was at least a nice sunny day. And we've got it all outlined, and our goal, unless we really get some good weather before April the 1st, which is the start of spring break, that will be our goal, is to start to work on that Saturday, April 1st, Fool's Day. And Brian will be getting out a email here fairly soon on
Sign ups.
once we decide that that's the day. But if the weather is better and the temperature gets above 40, we can do it any weekend that that it's good. So, and access is pretty easy. It's not gated like Highland was. We can get back in there, and we walked it. Got everything laid out. We just got and Scott will work with us. So we're good to go on that.
And where you put them?
uh,
Where's it gonna go? In the back?
in the back there.
In front of those portables. They look permanent.
Modular.
Small. Those are nice looking. I looked, there was no wheels.
They're anchored firmly. Single wise, that's. Modular.
Moss.
So what's it got on there? Nice.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know, like 3 buildings, 2 classrooms each.
Yeah.
And
It's portable 9.
the other good news is, some of you might have started seeing that you're getting emails from the secretary at Lake Stevens Rotary. The laptop is up and running. Thanks to Chris Smith. We've got it all operational. The president and the treasurer and the membership and scholarships need to get their just set up this week, that they've got their emails all set up and everything. So it's working good. A little different with the keyboards over there, so you gotta learn a little different. Can't tell you how many numbers I got that are going on email. I have to go look and say, oh, I'm over to. So that's good. That's
Okay,
it.
You trust
Awesome.
Gary, you trust.
Yeah.
thanks, Gary, and president-elect.
Well, a couple follow-ups from pets. While I was there, I was handed a plea or a request for interested clubs and families to take suits from Ukraine. And so I passed it on, and Chris and Kristen actually, and I attended a Zoom meeting on the subject, and it sounded interesting. But the men is maybe a good way of looking at it. And we went around quite a bit just through the folks on the board, and finally decided that it wasn't something we could do as a club. Just beyond our bandwidth, just we already have a youth exchange students that we committed to for this coming year. And we need to be really good at that. So I just wanted to bring it up because there are a few districts in our zone that are pursuing this, and they're still interested in host families. If anybody is interested in being host family. And from what I understand, it would work very similar to what we're on this. What we're doing. And heard of it. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I would pass it on to our district, Felicity Dye, who's our youth exchange coordinator. And it would be up to our district to decide to participate. So that's primarily it. And I think we talked a little bit about, the options also for
Yeah,
our website. So, it's.
we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Later.
So Don, are there rules around how long you can have them? Because once you said that you might think about doing 3 months.
Mhm.
I thought, man, that's way more doable than the whole school year, because
I think the 3 months is an option.
Yeah.
3 months is preferable because it's 3 months, then you move to another family 3 months, and then the third family 3 months. A lot of things happen. It gives the student a chance to get into different kind of family life and things like that. So, and it's not such a burden on one person. However, I think they-
9 months, so
Yeah.
I might change my mind.
The complexity, I think, it's a pretty hurried up affair, is you would need to find we'd have to have enough families that are within the same school district, so that a student can stay in the time period. That's definitely key, but, and probably there are families from Arlington and Marysville that are in like the Lake Stevens School District. I don't think there's no vice versa. Is there as far as
That there are Lake Stevens kids in like Arlington. Yeah, there are.
okay.
Yeah. We have several, well, I know of several teachers who teach in Arlington, but they live in Lake Stevens, and so their kids go to Arlington for ease. And I can think of 3 just right off the top of my head. So
And vice versa.
yeah, and vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of that. However, choice transfers out of district for our district are closed because we're full. That is not the case in other districts, so that creates another level of complexity. But I just saw the other day, actually, we have a report coming up next Wednesday. We have 5.7% of our ELL students are now Ukrainian speaking students.
Wow, that's perfect.
So it's really grown. That's doubled in the last year. So,
That's desirable.
yeah. Anyway,
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list, and maybe I'll touch base with Felicity and just let her know what the district.
but I will say this, if a student who is an exchange student starts in Lake Stevens, happens that, one of their rotations may be to a family outside of our community, we wouldn't make them change districts.
Okay.
Yes, but they would just have to get transportation to school.
Yeah.
It'd be something that whole family might be able to provide.
Or somebody.
And especially if they're high school students, we do have regular high school.
Yeah. And again, next year. So I can plan my trip.
Starts in
Yeah, it starts.
September.
On this August. Late August.
Great. Okay.
That's good. Another opportunity. We would just need one more. And sometimes they like to look for a backup, a fourth as a backup kind of a person, but it's really hard to find a first person and a second and a third. So that's great. Yeah, both of you guys. Okay. All right. So club services, I see anything more?
Nope.
Okay. Club services, I don't think Ron's here, but he does have a list out about, I don't know, half a dozen maybe or so of ideas to go out and have some fun in the community, like fireside chats and things like that. So he's gonna probably put that all together and talk to all of us about what we want to do and see and go have some fun and after board meeting events over at the tavern and other events. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. If anybody has any thoughts and ideas, let Ron know. And then Brian's not here, but I think he's gonna put out the road cleanup for, I think this Saturday, maybe he was talking about
He
that.
hasn't said anything since we were talking about it, but I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, I think one thing we gotta get better at putting stuff out ahead of time so people can plan for that on their calendars, not like, hey, tomorrow we're gonna go do the street cleanup. Or whatever, and then he's gonna put something out about April 1st on working with Skyline and doing the torch down stuff, so that'll be kind of fun. That's always a fun time. And then I think that's about it for community service. And the foundation, Jim, are you on?
No.
Okay. And then Linda, International.
We didn't have a meeting in February, so report coming this month.
Okay, good.
All is good.
Okay. Good. And then Kyle,
He had to leave.
he did, okay. So I'll speak a little bit about it and you can chime in about the database. We have Club Runner that it's a little tough to work through, and then in the back end, working on that, it's a little bit tough, so. And we just paid, I think, right, Jack, in January for Club Runner, and it's a year's subscription. I don't know if we would get a refund or not, or it's time to evaluate, investigate different systems, I guess. So I think you found a system, or somebody did, that was like DAC DB or something. I don't know what that stands for, but it's kind of a friendly, robust, and I think we're doing some research on finding out who is using that and how much more fun it is to use, and how much more engaging it can be for our members. So I think that's what we're trying to do.
Transition that years ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, and it came up at PETS too. The vendors were discussed from the standpoint of our website host, if you will, and also the software. And DAC DB was mentioned a few times actually as being kind of a good choice.
Yeah.
It was very unscientific from the survey standpoint, so we can't put too much into that. But I did look at it, look at their website. It's a good sized company. Apparently it was formed by Rotarians and they were really geared toward the Rotary needs of a
Yeah.
club. So it's probably worth looking at, and even if it takes us a year to make a decision, I think it's better to know what we're going to do before we.
Do it.
Yeah, and Club Runner, I mean, you know, we've made some progress with Club Runner, just with our, you know, the updates and Kyle's done.
Yeah.
And there's more to make, I'm sure, but the other thing is, Jack, I would assume that maybe there's going to be a change in whoever manages, you know, reporting members, that type of thing. It can be different than maybe what we're used to, but just all considerations.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's always good to have choices, new ideas, and things of development are always fun. Remember that, always fun. Number
Yeah.
5. Okay. So vocational youth services, Kristen's not here, but Interact is going. I think the pizza thing went on. Oh, that's coming up.
No, that's come up this Wednesday.
Yes, we're dancing, right?
You're dancing.
Oh, all right, well.
No cameras allowed.
Oh, no, I'm bringing it.
That'd be good. Have a Patriots helmet on, so we won't know who you are.
Oh, they'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know.
And I think that's about it for that. I know Lance was working on some scholarship meetings coming up to get that going. I mean, that's around the corner if you think about it, so. We're working on that, and Scouts, nothing new there. And we have Chris Martin, IT, did he have to leave too?
No, he's IT.
He's IT, good, okay, good, awesome. All right, everything's good, thumbs up, I guess, that means something. And Kendra, program.
Yeah, nothing new to report. We have Michelle today, or Elizabeth, I'm sorry. And we have someone coming. What was that?
She's here.
Yeah, great. And we have someone coming from Arlington Rotary next week to talk about their project in Kenya. And then we have 3 guys coming from Rotaract to talk the following week. And I do have some emails to follow up with regarding other presentations. So if that is from any of you, I haven't forgotten about you. I will respond.
Okay.
Thank
cool.
you.
Awesome, thanks. We love program. So, and she's with the YMCA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Are we gonna play the song?
Oh, I could do a song and dance.
We definitely have to move the camera for this.
Okay, good. Yeah, we can do that.
I really appreciate you guys having me.
Okay,
I should admit something.
okay, go ahead.
It's confession.
Gary, put your robes on.
First time doing something like this. So I am here to say thank you so much for your time. My name is Elizabeth. I am the Member Services Director, among many, many other things at the Marysville.
Question for you.
Yeah.
So you want to start now, or do you want, we got one more thing to do, or we could do it afterwards, so.
It's up to you guys.
She's on a roll.
Okay, you're on a roll. You can go now, and then when you're done, we'll come back with the happy box.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like I interrupted.
No, you're
I
good.
thought you
You're
were,
good. Yeah.
okay. So I am here, I am the Member Services Director at the Marysville Y, and among many other things. And I'm here because right now it's our annual campaign time. I get really excited about annual campaign for many reasons. One being that it is a huge challenge. So if I don't just step right in and just get right into it, it freaks me out. And I just want to be like, oh goodness. But the reason is because I was a young, I'm gonna tell you guys my story really quick. I was a young lady who grew up in Granite Falls with a single mom, and she wasn't quite able to be there for me emotionally. And I was an only child. So she knew that I needed the YMCA, and she put me in there in childcare in Everett. I don't know if everybody knows the old Everett Y. Nope. So, I mean, they took that down like about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's such a bittersweet thing because I was there all the time when I was a kid. It was a safe place for me, and my mom knew I needed the enrichment that they offered. So I grew up at the Y childcare. They gave me a lot of self-esteem. I was kind of overweight and sad, and they pulled out of me my best character traits, right? But eventually, too, my mom put me in summer camp. Like 3 or 4 of the YMCA summer camps during the year, which gave her respite, and it gave me a chance to grow. And I'll tell you something, there would have been no way for me to do that if they didn't have financial assistance at the time. They worked on a sliding scale fee at the time. And so it was like my mom could afford a $50 camp instead of like $300 camp, right? And I was there for 5 days. I got to grow. My self-esteem was just boosted by the end. I mean, there was just so many things. I then went there for about 9 or 10 years, right? And I became a CIT, which was a counselor in training. So that was a magical day because I stepped from like one side of the stairwell, the camper side, to the other side of the stairwell where I was in charge. And I was really surprised because I didn't know, or I didn't, it was one of those really big growing experiences for me because they believed in me. They asked me. They saw the potential, they wanted that leader, they asked me to do it. And so when my little person inside of me said, "You can't do this," and I reached out to my counselor, she said, "We would have asked you if we didn't think you could." And you know, those words to a young girl who doesn't have a lot of self-esteem were monumental. It gives me goosebumps when I think about it.
Awesome.
So moving on a little bit. I became way too cool for the Y after I turned 18, okay? You know, the world happened and I was on my own and it kind of fell away. I mean, the Y wasn't part of my 20s. I was, so, but here we go, fast forward, I met my husband. The minute you get married, you become poor. I don't know what happens, but that's what happened. So we,
Chris understands that.
yeah, okay, I think it's because you have children, okay? Because then we started having children and I had 3 boys under 5 at one point, okay? And I'll tell you, to tell you the truth, I got really, really, really sad. And when I look back in my mind's eye about why I was so sad, it was because I was lost between mother and role of mother, role of wife. And I wasn't able to, it's like myself was kind of scattered. So
I was sitting on the couch one time and I was like watching this soap opera and I was eating potato chips. I'm like, why am I so overweight and sad? And by then I had gained like 70 pounds. Okay. So I then thought, I'm gonna go back to the Y. I'm gonna go back to the Y and see what they have to offer. I think they have financial assistance. I walked in there and I applied for financial assistance. They approved me for, it was $30, okay, for a family of 5.
Wow.
Now, what that gave me was peace of mind. One, because my husband wasn't like, when we were broke, wasn't like, yeah, go get a gym membership. Awesome. Let's spend $150 on a gym membership, right? But he said, I'll do 30. Okay, so I was able to go in with the financial assistance. Okay, first day, guess what I did? The first day that I dropped off my kids, guess what I did? No, I went to the fireside room, which is this little room set aside, and I ate a ham sandwich by myself.
Wow.
You know why? Because when you have 3 kids under 5, you never eat anything that isn't covered in boogers. So that is what I decided to do that day. And okay, after that, I started to come in daily, mainly because I was like, I need to get out of my house. I get that 2 hours of childcare. There was that huge connection. They introduced me to the staff at the front desk. The staff was like, oh, that's what they knew my name. They were excited to see me. They hooked me up with a wellness coach, which they still have today. It's included in your membership, a wellness coach appointment, because it's a connection. It's a way to build a relationship. So they hooked me up with a wellness coach. They showed me how to start lifting weights. They showed me how to work the gym, because I was afraid when I walked in there. I was really quite overweight. My self-esteem again was just down to the floor. I was scared, but you know, the wellness coach was like, come on, let me show you. And so after that, I started to do exactly what she told me to do daily. Day in and day out, I showed up. I got my peace of mind back. I started to find Elizabeth again. And every day they were glad to see me. I was in the director's office, the health and wellness director's office. I don't know if anybody knows Rhonda Hardcastle. She was the director at the Marysville Y at the time, just an amazing woman. I started to figure out things, and I would be in her office almost every day asking her questions. And she was like, one time I asked her, like, I figured out that if I burned up 600 calories, I could eat 300 calories back. And I said, no, Rhonda, could I have ice cream? She's like, here. So, I mean, it was funny just the way that she was like, she was, you know, the staff supported me. And mainly that's one of the things I want to get at about the YMCA and the missions and stuff like that, is that the Y is in the community, and it's been in the community for over 100 years. And like from cradle to career, like me, I am kind of your walking Y person, you know, like because I was there as a little tiny girl, grew up through the Y. They were there for me when I needed them. They had that financial assistance. They had the programming that enriched me. They had the people that cared enough to say my name, to ask me how I was doing. I then started taking like group exercise classes. For that connection happened there too. So I connected with the group exercise instructors. I connected with the people in it, and I still have good friends from those days. That was 5 years ago. So what's really interesting about my story is that I connected with the staff. I had that financial assistance. I started taking group exercise. I started to lose weight. People were interested in me, asked me if I wanted to work there. I started off at the front desk 6 years ago, 15 hours as member services staff. And I'll tell you, when I walked in there, I did not have a cell phone. I did not know how to scan and attach. I didn't even know what really a copier was. And I was surprised that they wanted me on the computer. I thought I was just gonna be folding towels and being like, welcome. No, they wanted a real person doing a real job. And I was so surprised again that they wanted me on the computers, because that was a self-esteem thing. Like I was like, wow, they want me again. So speeding up the story just a little bit, I became a personal trainer because I found my love of weightlifting. Became a personal trainer, group exercise instructor, an ACT coach, which is Actively Changing Together, which is a program for children who are under the age of, or they're between the ages of 8 and 12. If you can change their eating habits by then you can change the trajectory into diabetes, pre-diabetes. Another program that the Y offers for children. youth development is one of our missions, right? Social responsibility and healthy living. So became a group exercise instructor. Now I stand at the front of the studio and I get to play my playlist and I teach boot camp, TRX. And I get to scream and yell at people and they're leaving like, thank you, I can't wait for next week. And I just think that's hilarious because it's like the funnest thing ever. So a little bit more to the story that's really, really important to me is that I made my way up the chain. So I was a lead for a year. COVID took me out. I was there the day though that COVID shut our doors. It was like steering a plane down. It was the most bizarre day of my life. And the Y has never shut their doors. Never shut their doors, but they did that day. So I get goosebumps on that too, because I was there when that happened. I was there when they reopened their doors. Because I was like, I need a job, get me out of my house. I still have 3 sons, they're not under 5, but they're maniacs. Because they're 15, 16, and 17. Get me out of here. So I came back as personal trainer. Again, back to the 10 hours, 15 hours. Then I became the lead again. And then the coordinator and the director left. And I was like heartbroken because I loved them. They believed in me. They taught me everything I know. I wanted to work with them. And I was heartbroken. But they said, do you want the job of coordinator? And I was like, no, I don't. But I said to myself, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. They asked me again. They must believe in me and I'm not going to let this opportunity go. So I said, I went home and I thought about it and I said, I'll take the coordinator position if you promise me the director position in a year.
Good job.
So I worked really, really, really hard for a little bit over a year and they made me the director last year. So they made me the membership director. And so what's so beautiful is that 6 years ago, I was the receiver of financial assistance, right? And 6 years later, I get to watch the dollars. I am the hands and feet of the dollars that are donated to the Y. So that is just something that rocks my world. When I get to give out the dollars, the Y, working at the Y and seeing this happen keeps me living in the moment. Okay, it keeps me really living my life. I see life happening as it comes and goes through my door. I'm about building relationships. I'm about relational over transactional when it comes to bringing people into our building, the connections that are made through our youth sports programming. There are children, Marysville's poverty level is 50%, people. That's huge.
Population of the Y or the whole place?
The population of the whole town, yes. So that is a big deal. That's what we're working with, and that's what we're trying to raise our funds for in our community. We try to bring equality back to the community. One of the Y's main things is that we do not ever want anybody to be turned away due to unaffordability. Sometimes I sit down with a family and I waive the fees because they cannot afford it. I have the ability now. I have that. I'm the gatekeeper to these things. You know what I mean? And I get to lead with my heart. There is no other place on earth, I really believe, that would let me do that. So I can help our youth. The YMCA, the programming has changed a little bit. I don't know if everybody knows, but we were kind of like a PV sports place. We have sports now up through high school. We have flag football, which is super fun. We have indoor soccer. They changed the rules a little bit on that, where you can bounce the ball off the walls. So the game keeps going and it is a crazy fun time. The magic of that is that families get to go in there. They get to come together. We're building leaders, right? So that is why I'm here today, is I wanted to say that Marysville's goal is 200,000. We've raised a little bit over half, so that's amazing. Our whole, so like last year, the association, which is 6 branches, that's Marysville, Monroe, Stanwood, Mill Creek, and Everett. I believe I might have missed one, but anyway, we raised over $1 million, just a little bit, like 1 point something. We gave away 800,000 in financial assistance, and the gap grows. So I wanted to just come in here today and tell you a little bit about my personal story, why the Y is important to me. I wanted to talk a little bit about the youth programming, the group exercise where the connections are made with the adults, Big Brothers Big Sisters is another thing that I wanted to just mention. They have a place at all 6 branches now, which is amazing. Big Brothers Big Sisters was their own entity for quite a few years, but now they are part of the YMCA. And they are located inside of the Everett Y. But I'm asking for donations specifically for Marysville Y. Of course, we do work with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Our families from Big Sisters, for Big Brothers Big Sisters, BBBOs, come in and use our facilities all the time. They come in and they use our fireside room to connect. That's how they make the connection. They bring in the big brother, the little brother, the parents. They make those connections in our rooms. It's pretty touching. And it's life changing for these children. So I don't know if you guys have any specific questions. I did hand out this. This is Find Your Reason to Give. This is sort of what the money does here. You know, and then this is my Strength and Community, just our annual campaign at a glance type booklet thing. So I don't know if you guys want to look at it. I didn't bring too much. We're trying not to be paper heavy, but
Is there 2 Ys in there?
there's only one Y.
Okay.
Yep, one Y.
Close the one over by Cedar Park?
I think you might be talking about the old one.
Yeah, the old one.
Yes, yeah. The Marysville Y is about 28 years or so now. Yeah. And then there is,
So the one just by Allen Creek there.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yes. So, do you guys have any questions?
I heard something.
Yes.
We play pickleball and kind of. We move around from location to location. There's a park in Marysville.
Yeah, Jennings.
All that, and I understand that the Y also has pickleball.
You understand correctly.
Yeah.
So we have pickleball during the day. I believe it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, between 10:30 and 12, and it's growing. So if you want to stop in, you could, or I can also look it up and tell you before I leave what times it is. So you should get right in.
to work in that.
I know. I think maybe there might be some on Saturday. I do have to double check my schedule for the
So
exact time.
I also heard that people that qualify, I guess if you're on Medicare, that
Yes.
you can attend pickleball without, well, basically the cost is waived or is billed to.
Yeah.
was it Silver Sneakers or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
So if you, yes,
Right.
I would say if you have any question about whether or not you have an insurance-based membership to come right on in, because we can approve you there if you bring your insurance card, if you have that program, a part of your insurance. And then the Y, if you have your membership, the Y is all yours. There's no restrictions. So you could do anything. There's lap lanes, there's water fitness, really easy on the joints. There's a Forever Fit class, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesdays and Thursdays too. That's really, really low impact, bands, balls, balance. Okay, so, and then so the programs are Silver and Fit, Silver Sneakers, and Renew Active, but though that's not really that important to you guys. Just bring your insurance cards, come visit, have a cup of coffee, go on a tour. It's fun. I'll give you a guest pass if you really want to try it. It's no problem at all. So, yeah, so I've, been there for 5 years and I've lost the 70 pounds, and through the connections, kept it off, quit smoking.
Do you eat
I
ice
found myself, I do eat ice cream because you could have things in small portions. Yes, take care of yourself. Ice cream is good for you if you don't eat it in big portions. Okay, maybe not good for you, but.
I just skip the bowl and eat out of the container.
Okay, no, you gotta put it in a bowl. Walk away. Walk away. So if you guys could come up with $60,000 so I could finish up here and go home and eat cheeseburgers, that would be fantastic, because then we would be done and I would be the queen.
Yeah.
But I'm asking for around like $5,000. I don't know what the Rotary, exactly how the Rotary does their giving, but that is my ask. I have goals. I come in with goals. And so whatever is what you guys agree on is fine. But
We have an application out on our website that you can go and fill out.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So do that, and then it goes to the committee to review everything and things of
Perfect.
this sort, and then they come back to you with an answer.
And it's what the review is once a year still?
Yeah, once a year, yeah, it's coming up.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's getting close.
So thank you for coming today and telling us your story. That's very inspirational.
Yes.
I learned to swim at the Y. And I lived out east. And so that was exciting. I still have fond memories there. I encourage you to visit the 2 other Rotary clubs in Marysville.
Yes,
and I can
we
get
have
their
affiliations.
contact information.
Does anybody else have Y stories or anything? Do you guys know? Or have had your kids in it? Sometimes you get a group of people where they're like, many of them had their first jobs at the Y as like lifeguards, because we hire at 16.
Right.
So know that too.
And I know the Y has an after-school program at one of our schools. So
Oh, we have before and after school care too. That's kind of what carried us through COVID.
Right.
We were there for first responders for childcare. And then virtual learning care, which my kids went to because they were like ghosts. It was, so. Yeah. Yes.
I used to fundraise at the Monroe.
Oh, you did?
Fundraisers when we first started.
Cool.
And my kids would hello pool closed in Stoneham.
Yeah.
Switch over to the YMCA to do their swim lessons, so they had, I mean, they went through, by the time they were like 6 years old, they had gone through the entire swim program between the 2 of them. And it's a really nice place. I started teaching karate after that.
Oh, cool.
And I was like over at Mill Creek, so we ended up having to not go, but we didn't have time to go there anymore. But it is a really awesome place.
We do have a program called Safety Around Water that we run every year because and it's free.
I love that.
It's free and it's open to the community because we are the Northwest, right? We're surrounded by wet bodies of water, and we need our youth to know how to swim and survive in water. So that's a program that they offer. It's free and open to the community that I love.
How long is it?
Like, how to, you know,
How to get in and out of a boat, swim, float, swim techniques. So how to get in and out of a body of water, education on how to not drown if somebody else is drowning. And what was your question?
How long is safety around water?
Safety around.
Is that one day thing?
No, Safety Around Water is 2 weeks long and it's about 30 minutes of class.
Okay,
So it's every day because it's in the summertime.
gotcha.
So people can come in and I think they run it in the afternoon and then one in the morning, you know, because there's the parents who work. So
Y has a goal for 0 deaths in Snohomish County.
yeah,
0.
Drowning, so just.
Even if it was, I mean, Lake Stevens, it would be great to get to that point.
Right?
Yeah.
So one other thing before I go, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you, everybody out there in digital land. I've got my back turned to you. I'm so sorry. Is that we're doing a lot of things too. So if you individually want to get involved, I can leave my email with you guys, but for the next couple of weeks, we're doing some fun fundraising activities. March 20th is an art fair. And we're asking for donations of art that we can sort of ask for a specific donation, and then you can take your piece of art home. We're asking for donations of baskets, like a garden basket or whatever, for like a silent auction with a suggested donation on those. We have a car wash coming up, so come get your car wash, rain or shine. The kids will wash it. We won't let them drop the rags on the ground and then wash your. It's supervised, so that's a fun event to do. And Fitness Festathon is this Saturday, so if you're looking to kind of get fit in one day, but no, just try it. Come, you want to lose 20 pounds in one day, come to Fitness Fest. It's Saturday at 9. And then my personal favorite is my pedal-a-thon, which is April Fool's Day. And that's from 9 to 3, and we get the bikes out in the lobby. We turn on a great playlist, have snacks, you ride for an hour, and the suggested donation is $75. And if you guys, any of you are interested in just coming in for a tour and you want to see some of the programming, you want to look at the YDC, our Youth Development Center, which is, you don't even have to have a membership, kids to go there. Okay, they get support, snacks, homework help. They get to connect with people their own age. Please, if anybody wants a tour, I would love to take you. And if you guys want to reach out with any other questions, I love the Y and I would love to, if you guys have any questions later on. Go ahead.
You shared your story of your growth in the Y. Have you had the opportunity to turn around to a young person and say, we want you to be a CIT?
Not a counselor in training, but in member services, I get all these 18-year-olds. So I do get to ask them to come work for me. Yes, I am definitely a recruiter for my area.
Yeah.
I ask, and my work environment, it is so important. I want healthy staff. I pay them to take classes. Because I want them to have that experience. I'm hoping to ignite a love for fitness, and I want them to speak from genuine experience to the members when they're talking. And like I said, I'm really into relational over transactional. Of course, I'm like, sell that membership, but I want you to talk to the person. I want you to get to know them. I want you to ask them if they're from Maryland. I'm like, how did you get here? You're from Maryland, you know, you want to ask these questions. And so, relational over transactional. So if you guys want a good job, come work for me. I love it. We'll do some squats, we'll laugh. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. You're awesome. A great story.
Thank you.
And we have a little donation for the Lake Stevens Education Foundation in your name /YMCA. So. great,
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now we have Sergeant at Arms and our raffle.
All right, I'm gonna have Elizabeth draw the winning ticket. Please pull everyone out and read the last three numbers loud. We have a 50-50 raffle.
The last three numbers is 596. I'm going to do better. Yes, we do.
96, yes, all righty. Now you get to draw the winning duck. What's the line up to, Mr. Treasurer? $42. I will give you a consolation prize, so there you go.
Anthony.
All right, let's do some happy bucks. Start with our online friends. And Rand, are you happy? Where's the camera? There it is.
No, but
Where'd he go?
It's over here now.
Yes.
Hey, good morning. I made big progress this week. The city of Lake Stevens actually gave us an address. So that means my house is almost done and I look forward to joining you in person. I'd like to thank Gary and Kyle for ushering me in and doing such a great job.
Good deal. All right. Dr. DeLorme.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not there, but I got my stuff going on, so doing some online training. Happy that today's Friday. Joyce, I will call you later and we'll figure out what I paid for you. So I'll Venmo some money in for that. I'll take a fine for that. So have a great day, everybody.
You're gonna swear that in?
No, I'm not gonna square it. I'll Venmo.
Mr. Smith, are you in Washington? Scott Smith. All right. Kendra, can unmute right now. Have some happy bucks. Good job. And thank you. Mr. President, you started late, so you're fine.
Yeah, I know. Here's a fine for that.
And your happy dollar.
I'm happy about everything and a lot of great turnout. We got a lot of things cooking and going forward. It's springtime. So let's get on it.
All right. Don't forget to find yourself for your lack of enthusiasm so that Michelle can match that.
okay, I'm happy this week. I celebrated 30 years of my husband proposing to me, so.
Awesome. All right. Congratulations. Are you married though? Well,
Exactly.
Good morning. Yes.
Yeah, happy, we got 340 kids in the crack team. Wow. We'll lose them for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, James,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Kendra sent a message in.
I
She
saw
can't-
that.
Yeah, you did see
We
it?
saw that.
Okay, did you announce it already? I didn't hear it. Maybe I was distracted.
Yeah, she said she can't unmute right now, but she was sending some happy dollars, so.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. President-elect.
Well, I'm like within a week of announcing or making the marriage thing happen too, so that's kind of cool, but in addition to that, happy bucks, I've got three granddaughters that are 4, 6, and 7. But this has been their first year of skiing. Wow. And they're doing incredibly well and they're loving it.
We're talking snow skiing.
Yeah.
All right. Royce.
Oh, I'm $5 happy. Anyway, it's so good to come, you know, I by myself a lot. And to come to this meeting and have everybody laughing and enjoying yourself, it's great. And I hope we keep doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will. Good deal. Thanks, George, for being here. Linda.
I'm happy it didn't snow today.
Not yet.
It's a little early.
Some people are tuned in a little bit more than others.
Speaking of which, is there a little more snow in your hair than?
No.
She has a great team out there working on.
Well, and I get up and drive the roads at 3:30.
Yes, sir. And he's not alone.
As long as you make it back, not in the ditch, it's good. What happens?
All right, so I'm really glad that the snow is clearing off. Up OK Hill or Carpenter was quite exciting the other day. So, and then just really happy seeing so many people here. Such a great group. Really appreciate everybody.
I'm happy that the remodel of my kitchen is almost done. In fact, it might be completed today.
Awesome.
Are we having a welcome party there?
Are you gonna kick the cook for us? I'm not. We'll put that in.
Okay. I see how that goes over. Joel. Yeah, good morning.
I am happy to be your nephew's birthday tonight. We're gonna have a party with them, so yeah,
Awesome. We can. Awesome.
After you get home.
Yeah.
Welcome Rand and Maureen to the Rotary Club of Lake Stevens. Look forward to working with both of you. Also, I want to thank Chris Smith and Chris Martin for the help on computers. One computer in particular.
Yes.
So I'm just happy to be here. And I will match if anybody put your $5, whatever in for being incredibly weak at the beginning of the meeting. I'll match it.
Okay.
All right. That was the 4-way test.
We're being called a bunch of weak people.
Happy, maybe we've turned the corner on the weather. I don't know, but I did.
The snow at 3 a.m.
So yeah, I got off 3 days this week and drove the roads at 3:30 in the morning. And then I had to go to work. Yeah, well, on Tuesday, of course, was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. We went 2 hours late, and then I was driving my wife to an appointment at 8:15, and it was just, I mean, flakes this big. Coming down, and then I had, from my car, I had to talk with transportation and assistant superintendents and say, no, we gotta cancel. So we went from 2 hours late to canceled. So now we gotta add a day at the end of the school year. So that's part of the price of progress, I guess. And then I've got a happy dollar. I've been meeting with student groups in preparation to finish our strategic plan called the Foundation for Excellence. And so I've met with 19 student groups to have student voice in the plan. So that's been really fun. And the biggest problems in elementary apparently are just the justice around Foursquare, Gaga Ball, which is there's a lot of injustice around Gaga Ball apparently, and Flyers Up. So that it is really stressful, and I don't know how to work that into the plan, but it's get more Gaga Ball pitch.
Yeah. Maybe it's on the playground is better.
Oh, and
Tetherball, not
and they said there's lots of drama for the kids that play football. And I believe that. No, sit down, because I think they have egos. They're better. I know.
They need to talk about.
They are the best in the state.
I'm good.
What was unusual about Tuesday, we also is over on the east side of the lake. the snow wasn't very heavy. And as I drove up Great Road, it was very obvious. You know, we had to go latitude and then altitude, and then all of a sudden, boom.
You've got a couple times where, you know, the south side of the district needed either worse or better. I mean, it's just. It's crazy how reasonable it is.
Wednesday, where we had a nice meeting, bring out.
Happy it's Friday. It was great to hear from Elizabeth talking about the YMCA from like kind of a little bit of a different perspective. Don't forget about everyone.
Her campaign is just for her site
So
or strengthen community.
between the communities for the whole entire county, for all 6 branches, and but she's, you know, she's advocating for the Marysville YMCA, and I advocate for the Everett YMCA, and someone else advocates for Oglesby YMCA. So on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, a little conflicted, there's no Tesla story from Lauren today.
Later.
Yeah, happy, and Lance is gonna be starting on my backyard table project, so we've got 2 large pieces of pine that are about 14 feet long.
Dang.
Some fallen tree from, the count the rings, and it's like, the tree's like 1810 or something like that, yeah. So it'll be fun, we should have about a full field, when it's all said and done, we probably about 14 to 15 foot long.
Clean wave our names into
I can apply for historical significance.
Backyard, the lake though, is, gonna float out there.
Yeah.
Good.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
I just want to find myself, we're not 100% properly last week.
Right. Well, it was a challenging week in transportation, but we made it work and we're making it happen. We're bringing on new drivers slowly. So anybody's interested in becoming a school bus driver, please see Ken.
Just throw it off.
Present.
Yes, thank you for that, James. I appreciate that. And any other questions or comments or anything for the good of the club? I don't know, how do I say that? Okay, seeing none, the meeting's adjourned. Dang.
I will.
Yeah. See you what?